My name's Paul Summers. Some of you probably met my brother a time or two or three. But I saved when I was probably 6, 7 years old. Just having a revival meeting. Mountain there, New Mexico. There was this evangelist come through. His name was Tommy Phelps. He was the original nature boy. He was a wrestler. And he was a big guy. And he come in there and he went to talking and preaching and jumping up and down and shouting about heaven and shouting about hell. And he's talking about his childhood. How his daddy was drunk. His daddy's mean. Beat up his mama. Beat up him. Always in jail. Church people wouldn't come and talk to him because it's on the wrong side of the tracks. It's a heck of a testimony. Man. Till that time, I didn't think there's anybody on earth that was bigger than my dad. My dad was a big monster. And I thought, if that big son of a gun's scared to hell, I'm surely scared to hell. And I mean, they got me right there. And I had a teacher, I'm still friends with him to this day, was there the night I was saved. He said, we'll visit. He said, he's getting old now. He's like Rome. He can't remember good, you know. He said, do you remember when you were saved? I said, yeah. He said, I never seen nobody so much conviction, he said, as you had. And we've just been friends forever. But I think my dad was being called to preach. I think it just, somehow or another, the Spirit was all over my dad, and I just got captured in the overflow, I guess, you know, and the Lord said, well, we'll go ahead and have him. Well, I made it up. I got grown. After I got grown, I got in a little bit of trouble, kind of a lot of trouble. And I wound up, they sent me to school in Grants for a while. School for wayward children. And I'm pretty down on myself. I was pretty bad. I got lucky, you know, through my rodeo ties. I got lucky, and all them Bacas had some ties with judges, and I wound up 6 months of work release, 7 days a week, 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. I got out. I'm wandering around, and I am broke. And I mean broke. And I am down on myself. I ain't never been down on myself. Sometimes I still get that way. And I've had it. I didn't have a friend left on earth. And I was cold. And I was just sick of it. I was ashamed of myself, ashamed of what I did, ashamed of all the shame I brought on my family, my hometown, everything. And I wandered down through Milan, New Mexico, and I was hit at a train track. I was just going to jump in front of a train, let a train take me out. I was going through there. I look over, I'm in the body. There's a little old Baptist church. I'm still walking, head down. That church kept aggravating me, and I walked. Finally thought, well, shoot, dummy, you've tried everything else. Just go look. And I get in there, find me a chair just as far to the back as I could get, you know. Sit there and kind of warm up, thaw out a little bit, and I look around. Man, I figured out it's a black church. And I was like, oh man, what have I done? They had black preachers sitting back there, and I thought, oh man, what have I done? Man, it's warm in there. I thought, man, I'll stay. I'm telling you what, that man got up. And I mean, he got on it, and he preached it, and he ranted it, and he raved it, and if he still ranted and raved it, it'd still be sitting there. That man could preach. So I start going every Sunday. And pretty quick, they capture me there after church, and they ask me, you know, we sure would like you to be our youth leader. And I'm like, man, I don't know. You know, I don't think this is no good. Let me think about it. You know, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm in prison. I just get out because I just happened to get lucky, you know. They don't want me messing with their kids. Well, this goes on for a couple of 3 weeks. And finally, that preacher, he trees me. And he says, man, he said, what's the deal? How come we want you to be our youth leader. And I had to tell him, I said, man, you don't get it. There ain't no part of me any good. I made a bad mistake, and this is where I am. They let me out of prison every day, so I work. And I said, and every Sunday I come over here. I said, you people don't want me around your kids. And that preacher, he's a lot like Rome Wader. He don't take no for an answer, you know. He says, I can't think of anybody better. I'm like, man, this guy's crazy. But anyway, while I was in that jail, kind of like some other people, I lay in there one night and it come on me, spread the word. And it stayed on me pretty stout there for a while, spread the word. And then when I got out, I went home. I talked to my childhood pastor, who was really mad at me over what I was in trouble for. And I told him what was happening. I asked him what he thought. He said, no, he said, I wouldn't think that. I don't think the Lord would call you. Well, it didn't take a lot to talk me out of it. He talked me out of it, and I run like heck. And I run for 30 years. And then I catch wild cows for a long time. I've run at them, I've roped them, I've trapped them, I've done tricky things. And the good Lord, of all things, He's put a righteous woman in my path. Kind of like I've took an old bull and cow and kicked out there, and pretty quick all the maverick bulls come out of that brush where you can get out of them. I guess the Lord figured He tried everything else. He's tried a righteous woman. It worked. Bent my head back. I get talking to this old school teacher friend of mine. He gets me on back thinking about old Tommy Phelps, and I get to looking. And I remember when I was a kid, we had a record that he sold. It was his testimony, and I thought, man, it'd be cool if I could find one of them. Well, I get on eBay and I find one. Get it for $19. It's never been opened. It's still in its package. And it was recorded in 1968, same year I was born, that thing. I was the first guy I got to play it in 54 years. It was pretty cool. But anyhow, as things are starting to bug me, and I tell my girlfriend, maybe I better go over there man, I wished I could go to that little black church. That's the best church I've ever been to right there. It's a strong church. She said, what's the matter? She said, well, why don't you talk to Walter Rome? I said, I ain't talking to those two. Well, why wouldn't you talk to them? Because I know what they're going to tell me. I don't want to talk to them too. I want to go talk to somebody else. And then he come down for missions conference. He comes for missions conference. And I got 2 girls. First of the year, I made my mind up. I let my oldest girl find the Lord on her own. It was a mistake. I should have took better care of it. I made my mind up. First year, I was going to get my 2 girls saved. I knew if I told them, you're saved, they'd go, yes, Daddy. But, man, they tell me, Rome's going to be there. And I call Walt. I said, you tell Rome bring his A game. I'm bringing these girls. I need them saved. I drive all the way across the state. Got my girls. It's going to be good. Rome steps up to the plate. He just knocks one out of the park about the foolishness of preaching. About the second time in a week, I've heard about the foolishness of preaching. I'm like, Rome, here, nope, no luck. Rome finally gets done. He kind of preaches at them girls a little bit. Then this clown gets up. Goes right back into the foolishness of preaching. I'm like, won't you people leave me alone? Just leave me alone. And I mean, I leave out of there and I'm aggravated. And I had an old friend, he used to tell me and my best friend, he'd tell my best friend before it's over, Paul Summers going to be a preacher. My buddy go, Paul Summers, Daddy, are you crazy? He said, no, he'll be a preacher before it's over. What on earth would make you think Paul Summers would be a preacher? You know, James said, because there ain't no human being on earth that studied sin like that boy has. He has studied it in and out. And that guy, he was quite a testimony. He was a town drunk when I was a kid. Everybody's praying for him. They tried getting him to go to church. Of course, he wouldn't do it. He's feeding cows, and he fell out. Pickup one afternoon in the middle of the pasture. He's feeding his cows, checking water. He laid right there in the dirt. He got square with the Lord by it. Just him and the Lord and his cows out there in the middle of nowhere, you know. And I always thought that was pretty good. And then, I mean, he loved the Lord, that guy. Well, after these guys all poked at me pretty good, I was sitting there, and that spread the word kept coming back on me. I tried to take a nap, and spread the word had come. Leave me alone. Go away. You got Walt. I sent Walt. And I thought, Walt's a good preacher. Shit was a good trade, I thought. But I guess the Lord wasn't calling Walt. He was calling me. But I was feeding cows. John Boggs calls me. Tell me some Tommy Phelps stories. And I'm sitting there, and I thought, you know, I've just kind of met that guy a time or two. Him and Walt are real good pals. Him and Rome are good pals. This'll be good. I can talk to this guy. He don't really know me. He's gonna listen to reason. Walt and Rome will not listen to reason. They're one-sided sometimes. So I visit little Boggs for a little bit, tell him what my problem is, tell him, you know, why I can't talk to Walt or Rome about it. He said, let's go to the Bible, Paul. Let's look in the Bible. See, maybe we can find something in the Bible. And I said, all right. Takes me right back into the foolishness of preaching. Come on, people. And we visit. He said, Paul, you're being called. I said, no, I don't think. I said, man, you don't get it. I'm as sorry a human being as there possibly is. You don't have any idea. He said, you think God make a mistake? I said, that's not what I said. I said, I'm pretty sorry. He said, I think you're being called. I said, he said, the Lord's picking you. I said, he could have picked in the basket and picked anybody and come up with something better than me. I'm telling you. Yeah, he said, Lord, don't make a mistake. He said, do you believe the Lord can't take you and make something out of you? I said, that's not what I said. But we visited, and he's at least kind to me. He said, let's pray. He said, yes, Lord. He said, you know, Lord, Paul's kind of confused. If you're calling him, he said, make it clear to him. If not, leave him alone. Boy, I sure thanked him for that, you know, because I really just wanted left alone. We got off the phone, and I'm driving, still calling cows in, feeding them, you know. And I stopped the pickup, and I thought, well, I guess so. I can't run no more. So I got driving along, I got to giggling, thought, well, just looked over. James kept cursing me with it. I did like he did. I surrendered to preach in the middle of the pasture. That's kind of where I am. Amen. Make it short so don't get too long. But that's where I'm at. Thank you.